Hello, welcome to a new video. The human brain is an incredibly complex organ that controls everything we do, from our thoughts to our actions. Yet despite its complexity, there are still many things we don't understand about how it works. Here are 10 surprising facts about the brain that you might not know. Before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss a video. Number 10. Your brain can't feel pain. Although your brain is responsible for processing pain signals, it itself cannot feel pain. This is why doctors can perform surgery on the brain while the patient is awake. However, if the nerves connecting the brain to the body are stimulated, the patient will feel pain. In fact, studies have shown that the brain has its own natural painkillers, which help to modulate pain signals. So although you can't feel pain directly, you can certainly feel the effects of pain when it occurs elsewhere in the body. Number 9. Memories can be smelled. Our sense of smell is closely linked to our memory and can trigger vivid memories of past experiences. This is because the olfactory bulb, which is responsible for processing smells, is located close to the hippocampus, which is responsible for memory. When you smell something that you associate with a particular memory, such as the smell of freshly baked cookies, reminding you of your grandmother's house, the neurons in the olfactory bulb send signals to the hippocampus, which retrieves the associated memory. This is why certain smells can evoke such strong emotions and memories. Some researchers believe that this ability to remember smells may have evolved because it helped our ancestors identify dangerous or edible substances. For example, the ability to smell rotting food may have helped prevent our ancestors from eating poisonous or spoiled food. Similarly, the ability to smell flowers may have helped them identify plants that could be used for food or medicine. Number 8. The brain consumes a lot of energy. Despite making up only 2% of your body weight, your brain consumes about 20% of the energy you eat. This is because the brain is a very active organ that requires a lot of energy to function. The energy is used for a variety of processes, including transmitting signals between neurons, maintaining the body's internal balance, and regulating body functions. That's why people who consume a diet high in sugar or processed foods often experience a crash in energy levels. These foods cause a spike in blood sugar, which triggers the release of insulin. Insulin then removes the sugar from the bloodstream and into the cells, including the brain cells. This sudden increase in energy can cause the brain to become overstimulated, leading to a feeling of euphoria or excitement. However, as the sugar is used up, the brain cells become starved of energy, resulting in a crash in energy levels. On the other hand, consuming a diet high in complex carbohydrates and proteins provides a more sustained release of energy, which helps to maintain stable energy levels throughout the day. Number 7. You can't smile and breathe at the same time. When you smile, the muscles in your face, particularly around your mouth and eyes, contract. This action is controlled by the motor cortex, which is located in the frontal lobe of the brain. At the same time, your breathing is controlled by the brainstem, which is located at the base of the brain. The brainstem contains the respiratory centers that control the muscles involved in breathing. When you smile, the motor cortex sends signals down the spinal cord to the facial muscles, causing them to contract. This action requires a significant amount of muscle activity and coordination. And when these muscles are active, they can't simultaneously control the muscles involved in breathing. Therefore, you can't smile and breathe at the same time. It's an interesting observation about the complexity and efficiency of the human brain and nervous system. Number 6. Laughter is contagious. When you see someone else laughing, your brain automatically interprets their behavior and anticipates that it might be pleasurable. This causes your brain to release the neurotransmitter dopamine, which makes you want to join in on the laughter. This is known as the mirror neuron system, which allows your brain to simulate and share in the experiences of others. The contagiousness of laughter is thought to have evolved as a way to promote social bonding and communication. By sharing in the laughter of others, you create a sense of camaraderie and build stronger relationships. It's also a way to show that you understand and share in the other person's joy, which can lead to increased feelings of happiness and positivity. However, it's important to note that laughter can be contagious in both positive and negative situations. For example, if you see someone else laughing at a joke, you're more likely to laugh as well, even if you didn't find the joke funny. Similarly, if you see someone else laughing hysterically, you may start to feel uneasy or anxious, even if there's no apparent reason for them to be upset. Number 5. The left side of the brain controls the right side of the body and vice versa. This is because the brain is divided into two hemispheres, each of which controls the opposite side of the body. The right side of the brain controls the left side of the body, and the left side of the brain controls the right side of the body. Each hemisphere is responsible for different functions and processes. For example, the right side of the brain is responsible for controlling creativity, intuition, and emotion, while the left side of the brain is responsible for logic, analysis, and language. This division of labor allows the brain to process information more efficiently and effectively. However, it's important to note that the two hemispheres are still connected and work together to perform tasks. The corpus callosum is a thick band of nerve fibers that connects the two hemispheres and allows them to communicate with each other. This means that although each hemisphere has specialized functions, they still need to work together to perform complex tasks. Number 4. Your brain has a biological clock. Your brain has an internal biological clock that regulates various bodily functions and behaviors on a 24-hour cycle. This clock, known as the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN, is located in the hypothalamus, a region of the brain that controls various bodily functions. The SCN receives input from the eyes about the amount of light in the environment and uses this information to regulate the body's internal clock. The biological clock regulates various functions, including sleep-wake cycles, hormone release, and body temperature. This helps to ensure that your body is prepared for different times of the day. For example, the biological clock causes the release of melatonin, a hormone that promotes sleep, in the evening. It also causes the body temperature to decrease, which makes it easier to fall asleep. The biological clock is important for maintaining overall health and well-being. Disruptions to the biological clock, such as jet lag or shift work, can cause sleep disorders and other health problems. Number 3. Your brain adapts to your lifestyle. Neuroplasticity is the ability of the brain to change and adapt in response to experience. This means that your brain is constantly changing and evolving based on what you do and how you use it. For example, if you learn a new language or skill, your brain will create new neural pathways to support that activity. Similarly, if you stop using a particular part of your brain, those neural pathways will begin to deteriorate. This adaptability allows the brain to compensate for injuries or illnesses, and it is the basis for learning and memory. By forming new neural connections, your brain can store new information and experiences, which allows you to grow and change over time. However, it's important to note that neuroplasticity also has its limits. If you experience chronic stress or trauma, your brain may not be able to adapt and can suffer damage. Number 2. Emotions affect memory. Your emotions can have a powerful impact on your ability to remember things. When you're experiencing a strong emotion, such as fear or excitement, your brain releases hormones that can enhance your memory of that event. This is because the amygdala, a region of the brain responsible for processing emotions, sends signals to the hippocampus, which is responsible for memory. The enhanced memory is thought to be an adaptive mechanism that helps you remember important events that could potentially harm you. However, emotions can also interfere with your ability to remember things. For example, if you're feeling stressed or anxious, your brain may focus on the negative aspects of a situation and make it difficult to remember positive things. This is because the amygdala becomes overactive and sends too much stress hormones to the hippocampus, which can impair your memory. Number 1. Dreams can predict future behavior. Dreams have been a source of fascination and mystery for centuries. While we still don't fully understand what dreams are or why we dream, research suggests that they may be able to predict future behavior. One study published in the journal Scientific American found that people who reported having frequent negative dreams were more likely to engage in risky behavior, such as substance abuse, delinquency, and criminal activity. Another study found that people who had dreams about being chased were more likely to be depressed. While these findings may seem surprising, they make sense when you consider the role of the amygdala in processing emotions. The amygdala is responsible for processing negative emotions, such as fear and anxiety, and it's also active during REM sleep, the stage of sleep when most dreaming occurs. When the amygdala is active, it sends signals to other parts of the brain, including the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for decision-making and impulse control. This may explain why people who have more negative dreams are more likely to engage in risky behavior. The amygdala may be sending stronger signals to the prefrontal cortex, overriding any concerns or reservations they may have. What was the most amazing, surprising fact about the brain? Please write it down in the comments. If you liked this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.